Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Well, Jenny beat me to it. That's exactly what I was going to say. And we're back to our regularly scheduled programs. We are. Now, yesterday we had a little blackout, shall we say, from our friends at Facebook and Instagram. Interesting coincidence if you saw the 60 Minutes whistleblower thing the night before. I'm not going to say much more than that in case they want to shut me down. But I will say that Kathy and Catherine are here, which I'm really grateful for. Same with Jackie, Jane. There's my girl Nancy, Joanne, Carla. Hello and welcome. And there's my girl Jerry. Has been a minute, Jerry. I'm glad you're here. We also had last night, we had the hydration webinar, and it was short and sweet, wasn't it? It was fun. Just prior to that whole situation, my dog had a whiz attack and peed all over the house, and I was mopping and cleaning up. And then just right now, I was like screaming at Mark, take that dog out. Anyone who has a puppy knows. So I'm hope to heavens he gets over this. I got rid of the doorbell thingy because he was ringing it. It was like his private butler, like, come play with me, come tug, let's give me a bone. I just want you to take me out and I'll just sniff around. You know how it is with puppies. Anyway, that's why he whizzes away at some point. So we gotta get rid of that. I'm just done with it. Hello, Darla, and Kimberline is here again. Jocelyn is here. Susan, Jama, Angie, also known as Maria. Good to see you. I'm really glad you're all here. It's going to be fun. We're talking this week about your own personal power. And today I'm going to give you some really good stuff. I've been rereading the Motivation Manifesto from Brendan Burchard. So a lot of what I've gleaned, I'm passing on to you. Books are such incredible things. This is why in your personal development part of your life and in our 30-day hot melt plan, on that, you know what that is all about, right? We dive into reading a book because we are looking at bettering ourselves. That's all. That's how we do it. We do it with the knowledge passed around from other people. We aren't the ones who are just going to come up and be wells of knowledge. We don't have to worry about, having their stuff impact us. We need to have their stuff impact us. That's how we become better. And we could expand our horizons and all the rest of it. So how about that? I like that, don't you? Hey there, Diane. I don't know why you can't find us, Jama, on Facebook. Everybody else is there. Lily's here as well. And Susan said she's glad to catch us live. Well, I'm glad you're here live too. Our supplement of the week is a flying out the door. Let me tell you, we found, going through everything, we found another case of our Bio Omega 3 X2 2.0. Now, let me just tell you about this. This is supposed to be a 60 capsule bottle. Instead, it's 120 capsules, right? So guess what? With this, you have a 4-month supply here, if you're following the directions on the back of the bottle, as opposed to a 2-month, which is what it's going to end up being. Same price. So you're going to want to get this. This is our supplement of the week. This is as long as supplies last. And if yesterday's an indicator, it's going to go fast. There are people ordering more than one, let me just say. And with that one, you're also going to get a free bottle of zinc. And if you know anything about zinc, zinc is imperative for skin repair. Absolutely imperative. It's also imperative for your immune system. So take advantage of this. Go to savingdinner.com/show. And yes, you can order as many Biomegas as you want. Remember, this is 2-year shelf life. So smart way to go. Every single supplement order that we get, hi, Carla, good to see you. Look, you get one of these. It's our supplement guide. And that supplement guide shows you exactly what supplements to take when and how many. Well, that's on the bottle. So that's easy, right? The other thing I want you to know is that we have, oops, where are they? Oh, they're under my pile. You know how it is? I make piles. Just terrible. Hi, Corliss. We have our book. Book's out. I'm going to take this book. If you order this book, I'm going to sign it to you from me. Love from me. You know why? I want you to know that I see you and I get the carousel of crazy that maybe you're on, and sometimes it has nothing to do with food. It just has to do with, this is the circumstance in my life that I just keep repeating. Well, same principles apply. So I want you to check this out. Go to savingdinner.com/crazy. That's where you're going to find that book. It comes with the workbook so you can really take in that information and have it be a part of who you are. We are second day in the sprint. Are you doing a good job? How's it going? Excellently anyway, right? Not perfectly. That's all I care about. We have a wait list for Inner Circle if you want to be in on the next one. That's not to say that we're going to do it. I have not made that decision. Hi, Flynn. Flynn's in Inner Circle. But I'm going to tell you this. If you want to be considered for the next round, which we cap at 50, then you need to check out savingdinner.com/circle. There's a little form that you put your name in there so you can know about it. Hydration is next week. We do the whole hydration challenge next week. We do this. It's basically like sprinting again with a different emphasis then on just getting that hydration in, because I find a lot of people fall down on the hydration. And boy, doesn't it make a difference. savingdinner.com/hydrate to pick up your hydration kit, which you'll want to get, by the way, especially that's how you save money. And also all the things that are in the challenge, all the goodies are there and it's free. You want that. Lastly, you're going to want to, believe it or not, you're going to want to get a TikTok account because we're going to start posting stuff. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to start today and I'm going to be doing a quote of the day every single day on TikTok. You will not get this here, not here. You won't get it on Instagram. You won't get it anywhere else. So take advantage, just go do that and become, like it and follow it, please. We're trying to build a nice TikTok following and you'll really help us out if you do that. We've got a bunch of other stuff going. Caroline was over yesterday. We planned a whole bunch of stuff. It's really going to be fun. And it's Leanne_, like a line, Ely. That's how it's all set up right now. I tried to get full bloom, but that was taken. Can you imagine? Our Croctober giveaway is happening all this week. Anyone who buys a supplement, a tool, a journal, a book, anything that we ship, you're going to get a free ebook. It's the One Pot ebook. How about that? It's a $37 value. And on Instagram, by the way, you can find us at Instagram.com/savingdinner. We are posting a recipe a day that you're going to want to have. How about that? So we're so busy. I feel like we're in the Mickey Mouse Roll Club. Oh, yeah, pretty much we are. Hi, Brenda. We're glad you're here. We're so glad you're here, and we're glad you're here too, Lynn. So nice to have you here. So there you go. That is our big ta-da. I gave you all the things. All the things. Can you imagine, though, getting this? This is one of my favorite ebook. My favorite ebook is our One Pot ebook or whatever it is. Anyway, we have that and you get the fall crock cooker ebook. That's what it is. It's a big bundle of stuff. It's fantastic. It's $37 value. I mean, come on. You know what? We pass on the value to you. And, we take great pride in the fact that we are able to help you any way that we can. That's right. Any way that we can. Because that which is measured improves, right? Did everybody measure for the sprint? Sure hope so. All right, let's get into the goods here. Who's a note taker, by the way? If you're taking notes, this is smart to take notes. And if you are not taking notes and not getting our newsletter, come on. Get the newsletter because you'll get the show notes the next day. Go to savingdinner.com. You'll get an annoying pop-up, I promise. Fill it out. And we send one email a day. right? Just one. And it just gives you all the goods. There's always value in that email. We have one of the things that we pride ourselves on is we have a very low unsubscribe rate and we have a high open and click through rate. And that is because the email that we send is full of value, full of value. Hey, Martha, ask Martha. She's on our email list. Anyway, let's get into the goods because the goods are this is gonna blow you away. It did me. I get to write this stuff out, and as I'm writing it out, it's just like, man. And I'll tell you, I don't know if you know this. Have I shared this with you before? I write out my show notes by hand every day. Do you know why? Because I want this stuff to go in me. I'm writing this for me and you. I figure if you are anything like me, boy, are you gonna love this. I hope that's how I look at it anyway. Hi, Marianne and Jennifer in the house. Let's get down to business here. So what we're looking at here then, today is Transformation Tip Tuesday. We love a little alliteration. You know how we are with that. But you know what? In order to claim our personal power, we have to experience our lives. And what we do is don't. We walk around unaware, unnoticed, or unnoticing. We maybe are half interested. Oh, guilty. I'll play a little game or something on my phone and be sort of watching TV, and I'll say, oh, wait, I didn't see that. And we're watching a series. I mean, how do you not follow that? Or what is that? That's half interested. Yeah. Half engaged, maybe numb, unfeeling, and maybe feeling a little directionless. Anyone? But there's a saying that we have for all of this, and you've heard it before. I know you've heard it before. I'm just going through the motions. Has anyone ever said that? Have you ever said that? I'm just going through the motions here. I have. Guilty as charged. And I think what a shame that is. Now, standing at this point, this junction in my life, where I'm looking at my life and saying, okay, how many weeks of my life have I lived? How many weeks of my life do I have left? Remember that show last week? We talked, you have like 7,000 weeks. And if you're the age 65, you have like 700 and something left. Remember that? Yikes. It just makes you look at time in a whole different light, doesn't it? It does me. And when we say I'm just going through the motions, that is the equivalent of saying, I'm killing time, just wasting time, just going through, just doing whatever, another sunrise, another sunset, another day of not valuing my time here on this earth. Another time of not absolutely 100% claiming my own personal power so I can make a difference in my own life and in the lives of others. That's what it is. That's the bottom line, ugly truth. And what if, we've had days like that, right? But maybe we've had weeks and years, maybe we've had a lifetime of just going through the motions. And what I want to do is bring you to the place of not having that happen anymore. Bring you to the place of seeing that it doesn't need to be that way. Because in the absence of realizing your own personal power, your life goes unexperienced or half experienced at best. It's true. Unexperienced or half experienced. I mean, it's deathbed, regret of, gosh, I wish I had really observed. I wish I'd had a more vibrant relationship. I wish I had. Those are the kind of things that we have to look at. And when we start to understand the depth of what our personal power is, we begin to feel it again. We can begin to feel and experience our lives again. That's what personal power is. It is bringing us to the present and staying away from the past, unless as for teaching purposes only, and quit worrying and hand-wringing about the future. So when we start to feel again, we become aware. We become people who notice. We become interested and curious, engaged, and maybe even visionary. What about that? Because again, we start to live in the now and we're not living in the past anymore. We're not hand wringing over the future. And this nowness has the ability to help us with our personal power and to release us from just impulsive living and the ever-present desire to just cozy up to easy. Have you noticed that? We like easy. Easy's easy. And it's also cozying up to our old fears because that's the thing we know. Ooh, that one stuck in my craw when I was writing that one out. That one really stuck in me. But it's the old way. And the old way of doing things is the comfort level of what all of us have. We all have that. We like doing things the old way. This idea of change, frightening, scary. Don't want to do it, really. But the change is necessary at every bend in the road. We have to be amenable to it. We have to hold our lives in gentle, open hands to realize there is a change a-coming. It is for you and for me and for every single other person on this planet. It doesn't just stay the same. And when we reckon that we've had enough hard in our lives and are doing anything else, the thing that we really want to do and the thing that we want to hotly desire, well, we think that just doing, we think it's piling on by doing things hard. And I call it that too. But what I've recognized is that this is really the truth. When we really want something and when we hotly desire something, we've got to get away from the scary hardness of the whole thing and just walk into that fire. Because our personal power will see us through if we see things from a certain way. James Clear says this. Check this out. True behavior change is identity change. You start a habit because of motivation, but you stick with it because it becomes a part of who you are. It becomes your identity. I think it's one of the most clear, absolute pictures of some of our sprinters that you've seen, and you've seen this has become a part of their life. Joanne, for example. You've seen Tanya take on the Hot Melt 30. She's still posting, by the way, and holding on because it wasn't just something she did, it's something she became. And this becoming, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? A couple of weeks ago, it wasn't last week, but I believe it was the week before. But this whole act of becoming is taking on this new identity. So if we start to identify as women who are aware of and in touch with and living through our own personal power, this above statement, this thing that James Clear said, that becomes our identity, the way we've changed. So let's talk about how we can claim our dormant personal power. Because at some point, we find ourselves living in the past, struggling with what ifs and the future and fear and this and all of that. But it puts our personal power on the back burner when that's the place that we live. Do you get what I'm saying with all of that? Does that make sense? In other words, we're sauteing, to use a kitchen analogy, we're sauteing the fear, we're sauteing and cooking up all the stuff that we know. Instead of on the back burner, there is all the stuff that's going to contribute to the life that we want. And that's our personal power. So one of the things that Brendon Burchard says is that we need to come at life from a different perspective and see ourselves in these different roles. And I say what it is waking up our personal power. Okay? If you are note takers, this is just genius. It's not mine. This is Brendon Burchard's. Just incredible stuff. Number one, we start by becoming an observer. Now, you've heard me talk about this in a different perspective, but this is a good way to look at it. As an observer, you look at yourself and you think, how am I behaving? You analyze your life as an observer and see, how am I handling these things? So answer this question. Am I responding as my best and highest self, or am I not? What would I say if I was handling this as my best and highest self? When we get into to the, I will give you an example today. I put something away at home, and Mark said, well, I didn't put that away. I think you did. You were the one clearing the table. And I said, nope, pretty sure it was you. And then I remembered, you know what? It was me. And I know exactly where that is. And I went in, got the thing, came out with it, and said, here it is. And he said, oh, where was it? And I said, well, I could tell you I found it in the garage because that's where you had put it. That's because that's what he said. I would have put it in the garage. I said, but I'm going to tell you, that's not what happened. I was wrong. And what I did was I took it and I put it, in the dresser, in the top drawer. And we both laughed about it. But do you see how this could have been a contentious discussion? It could have. If you're unwilling to admit, that you're wrong, is that our highest and best self? It is not. Our highest and best self is one who is able to say, hey, messed up here, or whatever. And that's just a small example, but it is the example of being the observer. Stand back, take a look. Are you being your highest and best self? Number 2 is that you are the director. By being aware and on purpose, you live life more intentionally because you're living life in awareness. And the director calls the shots. Have you noticed that? In the movie, the director calls the shots, and he has the ability to shine the light on the star of the movie. And that was my dog. You heard her. You heard him? Yeah, somebody came to the door. But he gets to create a hero. The director gets to create the hero. He gets to shine the light, direct the scenes, and make the whole thing so that the hero is actually, somebody that you have this great like for. Are you following me with this whole thing? This is how it is. The hero can shine the light and make, the lead person also a crappy character. But you are the director. You get to choose how that is going to go. And number 3 is guardian. We have to be the guardian of our hearts, minds, body, and soul. Hello, the daily dish. That's what we do, feeding our hearts, minds, body, and souls every single day. That's what we do. So one of the things as a guardian is we have to guard ourselves against the negative. Look at the world we live in. Good grief. You really want to get a shot of negative? Put the news on for just a minute. I don't care what channel. Fire hose, man. It'll just knock you down. But we got to guard against the negative with information, with food, right? Negative food, when is that? It's going to take away from us. That's why we sprint. With people, with habits. And we have to stop consuming useless and stupid stuff, information, conversations, dumb magazines, dumb down. And just think about all of that. Endlessly scrolling through YouTube and watching videos ad nauseum, or Netflix, or any of it. Think about, we're such consumers. And when we aren't guardians of what we are seeing, hearing, thinking, when we're not guardians, what happens? Especially this useless stuff. We have to understand what we're bringing in becomes a part of who we are. Man, that's scary, because I don't know about you. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I have consumed that I do not want to be a part of me. It's heart, mind, body, and soul. Those Oreos, they're just going to, not only are they going to cling to your thighs, but they're going to cling to your insides and make inflammation a part of your life. They're going to give you pain. They're going to feed a sugar addiction. All kinds of stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Guard everything as if your life depends on it, because it does. Great quote here from Brendon Burchard that I think wraps this up really nicely. We would feel horrible and guilty if we destroyed someone else's property, yet we wreck the very temple our Creator gifted us with. I'm going to read it again because I stumbled. We would feel horrible and guilty if we destroyed someone else's property, yet we wreck the very temple our Creator gifted us with. Boom. And that is the truth. That is God's truth right there. We are to treat our bodies as a temple to the Holy Spirit. We've read that before, right? You know where that came from. And yet, how often do we? And we're talking about the way we consume everything: food, information, conversations, even the people we allow in. There's a lot of toxicity out in this world, and guarding ourselves right now has never been more imperative. Never. Number 4 is warrior, right? We are warrior women. Remember the quote from yesterday? That we don't realize we show up in our lives as mice and not lionesses. We are lionesses. We have the ability to lead our little herd, pack, whatever. We have the ability to stand and roar powerfully and mightily. We do, using our voices. Instead, we shrink back as mice, not say a little thing, just kind of scoot on into the little hole. But you know what? Warriors understand self-mastery, and it doesn't scare them. It doesn't say, oh no, discipline and all that. No. Because they have weapons that they use when they go out and they're fighting. They do. And their weapons are their tools, their tactics, their strategies, their skills. That's all of them. All of it. And when it comes to the hard work, this is what Brendan says. Cowards shrink back, but warriors get in the thick of it and they use their weapons. We will not be pushed down. We will not shrink away. We will instead stand up. Yeah, it's hard, but has being a warrior ever been fun and games? Are we going to be warriors for our lives? Are we going to be warriors to stand in our power so that we can have and claim the life that we want? It's been given to you by the Creator himself on purpose and for purpose. What are you doing with it? What are you doing with it? Useless information, useless garbage, toxic food, TV, the whole bit. Is this life? So ask yourself this: am I doing what I need to do to prepare my mind, body, and soul for victory? Committed and convicted and committed? Or am I just going through the motions? Do warriors ever just go through the motions? Do they go to war saying, I'm just going to go through the motions. I'm just going to sit here in this foxhole and maybe I'll launch a grenade or two. Just going through the motions. Y'all just take care. I'm going to watch Netflix on my phone. Warriors don't do that. They're in the thick of it. Every sense is alive because their very life is at stake. What if we lived like that? What if we lived like that? Instead of the foxholes where we find ourselves in, the comfort zone, if you can call it that, we're out there on the grounds. We're taking our chances and we're just doing the work, using everything that we've been taught, everything that we know to be true. We also need to be number 5, lovers. Present, attentive, connected to those who matter most. I think I shared with you. Oh, it's over here. Yep, it's on the bottom. But in my Take Back Your Life journal, one of the things that I created as a goal was to connect more deeply in my relationships. And I changed that into I am statements. If you have Take Back Your Life journal, you know how that whole thing works and how we write those things out every day. The whole tenor of my relationship with Mark, with my children, and with my family, and I believe with my team, has changed dramatically. I want the people in my life to know that I see them and that I love them and that I care about them. I stop and listen. Today, Mark was telling me a story. He was in Hong Kong and all this was with an old girlfriend and what have you. And he's, oh, you don't want to hear that. And I said, you can give me the thumbnail version. I don't want to. Of course, I don't want to hear stories about him and other women. Yeah, come on. But I said, you can give me the thumbnail information, version. I'm interested. I want to hear from you. I want your stories. I want you to feel that you're heard, that I can hear these kind of things without going into a jealous rage. So ask yourself this, do you have relationships that are sweet and loving and caring? Do you ask genuinely, how was your day? And then sit there and just listen and nod back and say, sounds like you really went through some stuff today. so that the lover of your life is sitting there and saying, oh, she hears me. Is that what's going on? Do we think of ways that we can make our significant other or anyone in our lives? Do we say, how can I make their lives a little bit better? What would light them up? Do we think about that? Is there a way that I can maybe demonstrate more affection, a little bit more appreciation? Is there a way that I can do that? Well, I got some checks on all of this. I don't know about you, but I was like, yeah, I can do better. And when we know better, we can do better, can't we? Number 6 is leader. Listen, you're the leader of your own life, and there's somebody around that needs your leadership. And we're here now on purpose and for purpose, and it's not to just sit in a foxhole. It's to be out on the battleground. It's to be out and participating and fighting for the life that we want. Fighting for the life that we want. And this world has never needed more fearless leaders than right now. Never. So ask yourself this: how can I uplift others and improve the world that I influence? Do you know that right now, every single person that I'm talking to, every single person who's listening to this has a world that they influence? What's your world about? Do you love your little house that you live in? Are you appreciative of every little thing that's around you? I like to look, today I did a big cleanup this morning on all of my papers because they're just everywhere and stuff piled up. And it made me love my little office a little bit better. But that's just one thing that you can do. There's 100,000 things probably, if you stop to count, to figure that out. So ask yourself this: how can I uplift others and improve the world that I influence? At home, at work, and in service. And all of these roles are going to help us to recognize and to wake up our own personal power. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's time for you, it's time for me to wake up and to claim our personal power that already lives within us, so that we can go out and live the lives that are intentional, that are vibrant, and are impacting everyone in the world around us. If you're going to live well, if you're going to live in a way where you're going to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant, you're going to need to claim that personal power that was put inside of you on purpose and for purpose at such a time as this. Amen. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you, Sarah. Amen. Pinkies up. That's what I have to say about that. So thanks for joining me today. And it's here on Facebook. How do you like that? And YouTube. Thank you so much. If there's anything that I can ever help you out with, and if you have a question on Friday, send them into support@savingdinner.com. Question for Leanne on Friday. And don't forget this as well, that our supplement of the week is a killer deal. Go check it out at savingdinner.com/show. And don't forget, I will be here tomorrow. It's Wise Women's Wednesday. You're not going to want to miss it. Deal? Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.